Hi everyone, welcome back to Crochet Rocks. It is tomorrow. So yeah, it is nearly 1. Well, I'd say 10 to 1. 10 to 1 in the morning, and I forgot to do my video. And it wasn't until I was just about to go to bed and I thought, oh, I haven't done it. So when I say, my today's your tomorrow, it isn't. My today is yours. So that's weird. Well, I'll have to remember that when I'm putting it on. Don't do it for tomorrow. Otherwise it will be tomorrow. Okay, so what have I been doing with myself? Apart from I steamed through After the Flood 2. I only started watching it yesterday. I think it's finished. It's over. It was so good. I just kept kind of like let it go on to the next one, because onto ITVX they're all there. You haven't got to wait each. But the thing is, I think there's only been 1 or 2. 1 probably. So every week it's going to come on and I've seen them all. But yeah, because just ploughed my way through it. Anyway, it was gripping from the first episode. That was why. Before that, when I should have been making my video, I was being a space cadet again, because there was a press conference for oh my goodness, I'm tired and I can't think straight when I'm tired. Oh, yeah, very tired. Now, what was his name? Let's go on here, see if I can get it to come up. I don't think it will, because I've watched it, so it probably won't show me again. I probably told you about this. Let me just put there we go. It was James Fox press conference, and it was a live stream, and basically it was about the Virginia sighting back in 1996, and new stuff had all come to light. I probably told you all this. So they had this live press conference where they had lots of witnesses come forward and everything else. But the thing was, they when they were, because it was done kind of the live was shown by Ross Coulthard in various interviews. It used snippets. James Fox had allowed him to use snippets of it. So basically, none of it was a revelation, because it had all been spoken about and clips had been shown. Anyway, nevertheless, it was compelling viewing. And then Dobsonian Power was on afterwards, but I'd had to go and do dinner by this time. So I watched a little bit of that, and then I did dinner, and then football was on. And then I just got stuck into After the Flood, thinking I had done my video, and I hadn't. So I should have, watched After the Flood after the video, but I forgot I hadn't done it. And in between that, I had watched Emmerdale as well. I think Gary might be onto something when he says I'm telly obsessed. Perhaps I am. Anyway, it was a pretty decent football night all round, because Tottenham and Arsenal both played in the Champions League and both won, which is a weird thing for Tottenham, because they're in the Champions League, they're playing out their skins, and then they're 4th in the Champions League. In domestic league, they're useless, and they're heading south to the bottom of the table, which is a bit ridiculous. Even at home, when they play at home, now they played Dortmund at home and were all over them. So yeah, why can't they play like that when they're just playing against the English Premier League sides? Why can't they play like that? because they're stupid, that's why. I couldn't watch Arsenal because they were on at the same time, but Paul was messaging me and I was checking out the results, and of course they won. Shame I couldn't see it. I mean, I suppose I can just go back and try and find it and that, but so it was a good night, good football night all round, really. Anyway, I kind of haven't started low carb, but I've almost started by, you know what I always say? Hang on. Oh, sorry. It is nearly 1 a.m. I always say that I'm going to do the wind down. And my eyes watered then. I'm crying now, but I'm not. So I'm crying because I'm not going to eat any more sugar. No. So I'm on the wind down, which means I give up sugar as in its proper form, you know, so no more chocolate or anything like that. No chocolatey stuff, no sweets, no biscuits, no cake of any kind. So the only carbs that I ate today were non-sweet ones, but we had no potatoes, so I had a good hearty breakfast, which I made myself this morning. And then all I had for dinner was chicken thighs. So it's almost starting low carb in a way, but I had carbs for breakfast and some this evening. So yeah, it's getting there now. You know, I've got no more rubbish left. no more bad food left. So just need to go shopping. Oh, sorry. Not the most ideal time to make a video. Well, you know, I used to be in live streams at this time of the evening until about 3 a.m. I was a bit of a night owl once upon a time. Oh, how things change. Oh, hello. I was just thinking my eye does look a little bit... See, this one's looking a little bit sore again, isn't it? That little red spot. I've been putting cream on religiously. So, you know, that might be looking worse because of that. I think it's supposed to make it better, but it doesn't seem to. Okay. Seldom arrives smoothly. Yeah, I did that one. Did I do old? He gets tired brushing his teeth. Leopold Fetchner. Okay. We'll just do one a day for now because we're going to run out of book. Don't want to run out of book. So let's have a look at today's then. Oh, happy hump day, by the way. Oh, I don't want to get rid of Grogu. Oh, one last look. How cute. He's so cuddly. And yet he's not even furry. He just looks all cute and like a baby. Our secrecy is our survival. Our survival is our strength. Quote from the Armourer. Armourer. Radiators off. Where's the jokies? Okay. Where is we? Here we go. What do you call a bunny with a crooked willy? That's bunny. I can't read that. F-U-C-K-S, bunny. Naughty Gary. What do you call a zipper that keeps snagging your winky? A penis fly trap. A penis fly trap. My face exploded. Oh, I like that one, even though it's got those words in it that I don't like to say. I can't say the F word. Naughty, naughty Gary. I like that one, I have to say. That was funny. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh. I'm going to go to bed in a minute, you know. If I can, I'll get this on before I go to sleep. But there is a chance. My eyes are twitching when I'm tired. I don't know if you can see it. It's driving me absolutely up the wall. So, yeah, if I can get this on before bed, I will. If not, I'll just have to hope that, you know, it might be late in the morning. That's one thing I was going to ask you guys, actually. Because you know, when I said, if as soon as you see my videos, you could pounce on him. Someone said, oh, I can't really do that at 9 in the morning because I'm usually, I can't remember if it was work or whatever. They're not free till 10. So I thought maybe I should ask you, what is the best time? What time do you normally go for my chat video? What time is it, if you're a regular watcher? What time do you get to do that? Because many of you say, I do this with my morning coffee, but that might be 10 o'clock. It might, you know, you might be at work, it might be 11. So what time is the usual time that most of you, if you give me a time, I'll see which is the medium, you know, the mode, mean, the mean one. And because I always thought it used to be up, I always used to put it up at 8 o'clock. And then one day it was late and it performed better. And I don't know if that was because I hadn't put it up and people thought, oh, where is it? Or if it was just a better time of day for it. I can't remember what time of day that was. But there is an optimum time to put out videos. And I've got this thing on my analytics that tell me historically when most of my viewers are on in the afternoon. So I can say, well, most of them are on at this time. That's what time I'll put my videos up. But it don't really tell me in the morning. And, you know, what time do you usually get to watch it? And then I can kind of assess it and make that my start time, you know, or whichever one fits in better with everybody. So, healthy, cheers. So just before Gary went to bed, he started sneezing and sneezing and sniffing and snotting, and I thought, sounds like he's got a cold. And he just got up to go to the loo and he was doing it again. I said, have you got a cold? And he said, I don't know, I don't think so. I don't know for sure. I hope not. Don't want any of those nasty things infiltrating. I didn't tell you my results, did I? I didn't tell you my results. Well, I need to blow my nose. I don't think I've got a tissue. Have I? Thought I did. Yes, I do. Excuse me. Field trip. I'll be back. I'll be back. Oh, that's better. And breathe. Okay. So yesterday, you know, I did say I had, sent a text message to the Sarah that was in my phone. I knew her name was Sarah. I couldn't remember her last name, and I should have really put her in my phone as Sarah Nodule Nurse, but I didn't. I put it as Sarah Johnson, for instance. And I looked, and all the Sarahs I knew except for that one, so I figured it's got to be her, isn't it? So I'd messaged her, hello, are you my nodule nurse? And she didn't reply. And then I did my video and I said, you know, maybe I'll ring her. So as soon as I'd finished the video, I rang her. And so she answered and I said, hi, are you my nodule nurse? And she said, yeah. And I said, oh, and I texted. She went, oh, our phones don't allow texts. I said, oh, okay. That explains why you ignored me then. So I said, well, what it is, I haven't heard my results at all. And it seems like it's been a while. And she said, well, when you were first referred, it was done under a maybe cancer pathway. And because they'd found this shadow, it was an 11mm shadow on my lung. So therefore, I quickly got a CT, which showed an 8.1mm nodule. That's what they just called any lump they find in there or whatever. They call them nodules. So they leave it, and 3 months later they do another one, to see if it's grown, what's happened with it. And only if it's grown are you then put back on a cancer pathway. If it's stayed the same or shrunk, gone, or whatever, it's nothing. So, excuse me. So she said, oh, we only meet once a month. That's why you've not heard, because it's only been, she said, I know it seems like it's probably been a long time to you, but it hasn't. It was only what, a week or 10 days or something. So 2 weeks at the most. So she said, but I said, oh, well, the thoracic team, they said that they could see the results, but they weren't posted. And she looked at it and she said she couldn't really see anything, but it wasn't her area of expertise. She said, have you got your NHS number? So I found that on my app and give it to her, and she found my results, and she said, okay, this is not the official phone call, because I will officially phone you and tell you this, but it shrunk. It is now 4 millimeters, and cancers don't do that. They only grow. So they never shrink unless they're being bombarded by chemotherapy or whatever. But, you know, left to their own devices, they don't shrink. So if it ever shrinks, she said it was obviously just an infection and it was getting smaller, you know, shrinking. So that was that. And she said, I did have another one as well, which was a triangular one, which is always just a nodule because of where it is. She said what that is, they're like a skin tag on the inside, but it's only ever there that you get these triangular shaped ones. And I googled that and she was spot on. So apart from the shrinky Norman, I did have this triangular one as well, which was nothing. So basically my lungs are just a mass of nothingy nodules and granulomas, like scar tissue. I really do need to start not being ill and getting scar tissue everywhere. So I said to her about my hoarse voice, you know, the fact that it is croakier than it used to be. And I'm tired now, that's probably why it's more croaky. But I said, you know, it's definitely huskier. And she said, maybe it's reflux. So you need to go back to your doctor, really, because that needs to be addressed. She said that, you know, sometimes the reflux can burn your vocal cords and that can make your voice change. So I kind of Googled that. And I had seen it before, and it's called GERD. G-E-R-D, GERD. You probably know more about GERD than me. But, and she was dead right in that as well, because one of the symptoms is hoarse voice, and the other one is doing this all the time, especially in the mornings. And you will vouch for the fact that I do that hell of a lot. And I do it all the time, you know. I always feel like I've got something there to go about. So, and then there were kind of all these foods that cause it, and I don't eat many of those. To be honest, getting on a low carb diet can only do me wonders, because I won't be eating any of them. And Gary said, you always say that you feel better when you're on it. And I said, no, I do. I have always said that, you know. Most people sort of say they hate it and it makes them feel cruddy or whatever. But me, it makes me feel on top of the world. Because all of my niggly, horrible problems disappear. So, yeah, good news. I know I don't see, I should be sort of seemingly really happy, but I guess I'm just tired, you know. But yeah, that was my news, that it's not anything to worry about. I mean, it did look dodgy, having a voice change and all these infections and, you know, having terrible respiratory kind of issues and chest infection issues, which was a change to my normal. But it is coincidental. coincidental. I mean, I probably have all of those things because the lymph nodes were removed, so I don't fight the infections as well as I used to. So yeah, no cancer. Well, not there anyway, you know. I can't say if I've got it in my big toe or not because, you know, we haven't looked. But, you know, glass half full. I haven't. I've been given the clear. It's good. It's good news. So thank goodness for that. And I nearly forgot to tell you because I was so tired. But yeah, cool. And yeah, so I messaged the kids and told them. And Gary, of course. But I wasn't kind of jumping for joy. I don't know why. I think it was probably because the lady said, oh, I didn't see anything. So if, you know, I don't think she'd have said anything at all if she hadn't read that, you know, or seen no further action or whatever. So anyway, I am going to get off and upload the video, which may or may not get finished this evening. And if it doesn't, I'll have to do it in the morning, which means it could be late. So if it's late, this is why. But I'm sure there's other things I should have told you, but I can't remember them. No. So yeah, never mind, eh? Oh, see this? Yeah, this is out for a reason. I was going to have a little practice with something today, but I've, you know, at the time I couldn't find my crochet hooks, so I got a bit waylaid into something else and it didn't happen, and fell down a rabbit hole being a space cadet and all that stuff. But yeah, got an idea, 2 or 3. So thanks for watching. Take care. See you soon. Bye for now, guys.